Alright, chapter 10.7 actually baby steps you into factoring. What we're doing is, these are polynomial fractions, and it's dividing by a monomial. When you get problems like this, what I want you to do is take 6, and then m squared is m, divide it by 2m, and then you put your plus, and 2m divided by 2m, 6 divided by 2 leaves 3, and m divided by m goes away, and then that leaves an m left. And 2 divided by 2, chop chop, m divided by m, chop chop. And remember, we're not subtracting, we're dividing. So that leaves a 1. We do the same thing with this problem. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 x's over 3, 1, 2 x's, minus 12xx over 3xx, plus 3x over 3xx. Now this one's tricky. Well, first off, chop, chop. That leaves 3 x's up top. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and then x cubed. X divided by x, chop, 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 chop. 12 divided by 3 leaves minus 4, and then plus 3 divided by 3, x divided by x, chop, chops. And remember, that leaves a 1, and 1 times 1 up top is 1, but this x is left in the bottom. This is a big fat hairy deal, and people keep getting bit by that. So it's not hard, it's just realizing this x stays in the denominator, so you still have to have a fraction here. Now 8xx y over 4xy minus 16xy over 4xy plus 2xx over 4xy. Again, you're going to end up with a fraction here. Now, xx chop chop, yy chop chop. 8 divided by 4 is 2. That leaves an x and a y up top. This is minus xy chop chop, chop chop. 16 divided by 4 is 4. Plus, 2 goes into 4 twice, so it's on the bottom here. X divided by x. So it leaves an x up top and a y on the bottom. Again, not hard, it's just understanding what's going on. Now, I want to go back to long division with real numbers. So 2738 divided by 31. Remember, the divisor in this setup goes in the bottom. In this setup, the 31 comes out front. 31 does not go into 2, so I'm just going to put a little 0 here. 31 doesn't divide into 27, so I'm going to put another little 0 here. Now, but it will go into 273. And there's a little sneaky little thing here. Cover up 1 digit here, cover up 1 digit here. 3 will go into 27 9 times. So I'm just going to come over here and say 31 times 9. That's 9. That's 27. That's too big. So I've got to subtract off a 31 and put an 8 here. So that's 8, and that's 4, 248. So minus, that's a big deal too. Most people forget to put that minus sign, and so when you get into polynomial long division, you kind of forget about subtracting here. Now 3 minus 8 I can't do, so I steal 1 from here, add it here. We're playing Robin Hood because we're stealing from the rich and giving it to the poor. So 13 minus 8 is 5. And 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 minus 2 is nothing, so we don't have to worry about that. But we bring down our 8. And 9 times is 279. That's too big. So this is going to be another 8. So minus 248, and that leaves us a 10. So we say plus 10 over 31. A remainder over our divisor. So the same process as we went through here, we're going to go through here, except in one way, it's actually easier than with real numbers. So the sneaky part is we take, and I'm just going to use scrap paper right here, x squared divided by x, and that leaves us x. So this is going to go over a like term. Now, from that point, we times to all of these terms. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is plus 3x. But notice I'm not putting a plus, because what do we got to do? We got to minus. But I hate to minus because I forget. I'll subtract these two, but I won't subtract these. So let's add by chop, chop, chop. Now we're adding. So x squared minus x squared goes away. 5 minus 3 leaves us 2x's plus 6. And then we take 2x divided by x. And that leaves us 2. It's positive, so plus 2 up here in our quotient. 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 3 is 6. But remember, we got a minus. So chop, chop, chop. Chop, 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 chop. We've got a 0 left. So our remainder is 0. So we don't have to worry about writing any kind of a fraction. Now, our last problem with this, we get 2x minus 1 divided into 8x squared plus 8x cubed plus 4x squared. Uh-oh, we don't have an x term. Well, remember back in earlier in chapter 10 where we had to replace missing pieces with 0. Well, guess what? This is another place where we have to replace our missing terms. Now, 8x cubed, and always use scratch paper for this, divided by 2x. And that leaves us 4x squared. So 4x squared. And will these always be the same numbers in front of the x squareds? No. Matter of fact, most of the times they're not. And now we times it to both of these. So 4x squared times 2x is 8x cubed. And 4x times negative 1 is negative 4x squared. Now, remember, we got a minus. So chop, chop, chop. Oh, that went away. And this becomes 8x squared plus 0x's plus 13. Notice in long division, we only bring the next thing. Well, with polynomial divisions, we bring everything that's left over down. Now, 8x squared divided by 2x. That leaves us 4x. So plus 4x. See, this one's a 0 and this one's a 4. So the coefficients of like terms don't always match when you're doing this kind of division. Now 4x times 2x is 8x squared. 4x times 1 is minus 4x. We got to subtract. So chop, 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 and now we're going to add them. So there we go, and then 0 plus 4 is 4x plus 13. As you can tell, we're going to get a leftover on this one. Now 4x divided by 2x is 2x. X divided by x goes away. So that leaves us just plus 2. So 2 times 2x is 4x, and 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Subtract, so chop, 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 and we're adding. So that goes away. 13 plus 2 is 15. So we come over here and we say plus 15 over 2x minus 1. And I know that's really, 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 really tiny. If you need me to go over it again with you in class, I'll be very glad to do that. Now, on B, there is another way to do it. And I just kind of want to show you this. It's what we call real factoring. And remember, factoring is the undoing of the multiplication process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this right here. What did I multiply to get 6, but add to get 5? So 1 times 6 is 6, and 2 times 3 is 6. Now, when I add these two, I get 7, positive or negative 7. And when I add these two, I get positive or negative 5. So I need a positive 2 and a positive 3. So what's really sneaky is when there's 3 terms and a leading 1, once we find what our 2 factors are, look how I can cheat. Not really cheat, it's a shortcut. But split up my x's. So if I have 2 x's, I put 1 x here and 1 x here. If there's 4 x's, I'll put 2 x's here and 2 x's here. Not as a 2x, but x squared. Okay, then I say plus 2 plus 3. Now how cool is that? I love these problems. Now, remember how much work there was to this long division to get to this answer of x plus 2? Now watch this. All I had to do was factor this top. So this is x plus 2 times x plus 3. And what am I dividing by? X plus 3. Chop, chop. And hot dogs, look what I'm left with. X plus 2. And that's the same answer I got up to in the top with the long division. And look how much less work I did. So factoring is a whole lot easier sometimes than the long division is. So enjoy. This one should be a fairly quick and easy lesson for you.